What are the Christian teachings on love?
Well, traditionally, I mean, if you're talking King James Bible, kind of traditionally Christian, would be, love your neighbor, love everyone around you. That seems to be the way that, it theoretically is supposed to go, but, 9 times out of 10, it's not like that.
Christian teachings on love, to me, would be to act Christ-like towards people, non-judgmental love, I guess you would say. But it seems like today that's not how it is. I think it's more of a judgmental love. You love who you'd like to love, but that's pretty much how anyone is, whether you're Christian or not.
The Christian teachings on love in 2011 is not what it used to be. From my perspective, I'm not really Christian, but it feels like it's too far off from loving each and every human being to just singling out to a specific group.
My dad is actually a preacher, so at a really small church. So I was pretty much raised by this entire church family, and I saw, growing up that way, I saw a lot of the love your neighbor as yourself stuff that you see in the Bible, and I think it was a great way to grow up. Unfortunately, I don't think that it's seen as much in the world, or in the Christian world, as it should be.
As a somewhat adult, I've learned that, it's just necessary to love each other, whether it's Christian or not, but Christian people do preach that, I guess. It's just hard to follow sometimes, but loving each other is important. Love each other like you love yourself.
Okay, here's an excerpt from Søren Kierkegaard's book, Works of Love, and this particular page is kind of illustrating the concept of neighborly love as a requirement for Christianity, and kind of touches on the notion that if it weren't a requirement, we wouldn't really need to even make the concept of loving our neighbor up. It wouldn't be necessary. We would just have our loves for ourselves and for God. But this leaves us to wonder what kind of other loves are taught in the Christian theology. Okay, so here's a website that is run by Baptist pastor Dr. Willis Newman, and he outlines the 3 types of love, beginning with agape, or the highest love felt by Christians. This is a love between God and Christians, basically. It's an unconditional love. Okay, next up we have phileo, which is friendship love. This is the kind of love that people are referring to unknowingly whenever they're talking about loving your neighbor, as it appears in the Bible. This is the kind of love that you have for pretty much everyone else other than God, or someone that you are sexually attracted to. That leaves us finally with eros, which is sexual love. This is the kind of love that you share between a spouse or someone that you're courting, obviously within church standards, someone that you are going to marry and be married to for the rest of your life. Obviously, you don't feel this love with God, and you don't share it with your friends either. Okay, now that we can distinguish between those 3 loves, it takes it to more of a question of why. And this is another excerpt from Søren Kierkegaard, and this is talking about how love is innately human, and we all feel it, and we do kind of need it to survive. It's not something that we can really get around. You don't have to, I guess, show that you're loving your neighbor, but we all need some type of interaction, be it altruistic or not, between other humans. To wrap this up and kind of give it some perspective in the world of religion, as well as a little bit of insight to my own beliefs, I've got a page from Gary Kessler's book, Studying Religion, An Introduction Through Cases. And here's a paragraph that's talking about Ludwig Feuerbach's critique of religion in the advocacy of atheism, where he talks about the Christian teachings of love kind of deviating from the true goal of love, which is kind of just to love each other because you should and not for any other reason. I think defining love in a way that sort of takes away from that is what the Christian, teachings have come to be, which is unfortunate because they get a bad rap nowadays because the people claiming to follow them sometimes aren't always doing it correctly. But that's a quandary that's going to come up with almost any religion, which is why a lot of people stray from religion and kind of build their morals upon their own instinctual foundations rather than following any sort of teachings.